So with this system in the radar position right now, the interesting thing you're going to notice with this system is that unlike traditional Biminis, you don't ever have to detach the system from the rail. Everything's, you know, intended to stay in place. All of the transitions for both Biminis actually take place on the bows with the fittings themselves. So from here in the radar position, if we want to take this and drop down into the lower position, you'll find a push button right above the jaw slide, and you simply depress and one side comes down, and then you do the same thing on the other side. And then that lowers the entire system all the way down into a lower position. If you're getting underneath a bridge or a boat lift, you can go one position further down. There's a secondary push pin that drops down one more, and you can very simply depress that, and it comes and locks against a stopper. And then you do the exact same function on the other side. And this is where it really locks it in and allows you to have that trailering position to where the top doesn't bounce or, you know, sway when you're going down the road. So if we go to reverse this process and we're in that trailering position, we go to raise it, all we're going to do is depress the push pin, and then we raise one side, and then we'll do the exact same thing on the other side. You'll notice that as we go through this entire process, that this is intended to be a single person operation the entire way through. You may have to move from side to side of the boat, but at no point does this really require the involvement of a second person. So one thing you'll notice is when you're all the way down in this position, it makes it a lot easier to remove the boot. So you simply just remove the buckle straps from the two sides, and then within this lower position, you can very easily unzip and remove the boot over the mast light. This can obviously be done in the radar position as well, but it is a little bit easier when it's down a little bit lower, and you can very easily and gently just move the boot over the mast light. So once you've gone ahead and removed the boot, you basically just go ahead and lift the system up, and it will just go ahead and move those jaw slides and just lock it right up into this radar position. From here, all you have to do is grab the front bow, pull the entire thing forward. Here again, you're not removing anything from the rail itself, and then you move all the way to the front, and putting pressure just above this push pin or up in the corner, you just pull down, move to the other side, pull down, and now your top is completely deployed. Now, one thing worth noting, you do have adjustable stanchions on the front and the rear with this. Again, unlike a traditional Bimini, we're not manipulating these points. These exist just to be able to allow the Bimini to sit level on the boat. Once they're adjusted to the boat, we don't have to do anything more past that point. So now we have the top completely deployed. If we want to go ahead and store it and get it back into the radar position, we're basically just reversing that entire process. So here you come to one side, you have the push pin, you gently just pull a little bit, relieve a little bit of pressure and let it slide over. Do the same thing on the other side. And then we do have this bungee strap on the back. It starts to give it a little bit of lift, and what that really does is it allows you to just come to the front and very easily just set the entire Bimini back. At this point, if you want to go ahead and you can re-add the boot if you want to keep it up in that radar position. We do not recommend, you know, being underway with the canvas flapping. If you're going to be underway, you do want to have this booted, and then so you can boot it at this point, or here again, you can drop it back down into that lower position we already discussed, which is very simply just hitting the push pin, hitting the other push pin, and then the entire thing just settles right down back into that lower position again. So this is your basic functions of your primary aft Bimini on the boat.